What is up, Gravity Gang? Welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. As you can see today, we're joined by the man, Andy Parsons Fitness. How you doing, bro?
Oh, no! Absolutely fat.
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me on. First guest. Very happy to be here. Yeah. I thought this was an interview to be on the Versus Gravity team, but obviously not.
Listen, man, we've always got space for you if you ever want to join, or if we join forces. Who knows? That's maybe a spoiler, maybe not, but we'll get into that. Thank you so much for joining us today, Andy. We've been friends for a long time. We know everything about you, but I guess our viewers may not. So do you want to give us a little background as to how you got started and, why your name is Andy Parsons Fitness?
Sure. I mean, Andy Parsons Fitness, I guess it's my brand. So I've probably started being a PT for about 2 years now, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. The way I kind of got onto doing that was I used to love going to the gym. I loved helping people out when I was in there because I guess, as we all know, when you first start, you don't know what you're doing. So helping people out, and then gradually I thought I'd do the PT course, and that's kind of where I am today. So I'm a PT. I've been training myself for probably about 5 to 7 years properly. Coming out of university, I think that's when you realise, people are getting bigger and stronger, and then I thought I would kind of pick up on that myself and join them basically.
So were you always this big, or like what were you before? Were you kind
tall.
of more Isan, like the chubby side, or were you me, like the skinny Indiana bones?
No, I was actually on the chubbier side actually, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to be a PT actually. It's quite a deep topic to start on, but I think back when I was younger, people would pick on me for being on the larger side. I was very tall, but I did have a bit of weight on me. I wasn't that good at sports when I was a lot younger. I had like examples where teachers would take the piss out of me. For example, I think it was we're doing the triple jump, and my teacher literally, quote unquote, said, "It's quite funny now." He was like, "If you're fat like Andy Parsons, you can't do this," basically. Yeah. And everyone laughed at me, and it ended up with me not eating for 2 days. I don't remember any of this. I've deleted this from my past. I had other examples where kids would bully me about back knee as well, and I wouldn't take my top off. So then that kind of led to me getting insecure. Then I'd eat more, and it was just a vicious cycle. And until suddenly at university, I was like, I've got to do something about this. And that's where I started going to the gym, training, and then I got more and more compliments. You're looking big, blah blah blah, and then that just led to a vicious cycle. And now I actually look back and I'm grateful for. I know it sounds weird, but I'm grateful for the people back in the day. Although it was horrible, and I think it's terrible to do. It actually made me become who I am today.
Sure. So what could be some advice to say somebody who is starting in like a similar position to yourself, or if they're maybe a bit skinnier and they're getting picked on and maybe they don't really see what they can do to kind of better themselves in the situation? Do you think potentially starting exercise in the first place is a cure for that? Or
I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? Especially when you're younger, because you're not as mature, and when people attack you like that, it's very hard to take. I don't know. I got lucky that I chose the gym. I think some people go in different directions. They either eat more, I mean, there's no real right answer. I guess I would say, if that's something, if someone's coming at you for, abuse, again, I think you've mentioned this in previous podcasts. You've said it's coming from insecurities and you talked about.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. We talked about, I think it was on the last episode where we talked about how to be able to form a mindset like yours, like ours, you kind of have to come from a place of, I don't want to say darkness, but you've got to have your face in the dirt a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
I completely agree, and I think, as I say, going to the gym or doing whatever, starting a sport, getting a new group of friends is a great one. Sometimes it was not my close friends, but it was people that I kind of was associated with, and just getting yourself out away from those people. And I think you've talked about it again. Get rid of those, find new friends, and that's why I get on really well with you guys. I mean, you guys are role models to me, which it sounds weird.
No,
but I see what you guys do, your content, and then I'm like, I want to do that, and it's the people that encourage you. I think this is kind of like pulling together your last 3 topics, which we don't have to go over again.
So I want to just quickly touch upon that about the role models thing, because obviously it goes back to you as well. You're a massive role model to us. You are a PT, like you said, and also you're in unbelievable shape. You're also starting your own stuff, which we'll get onto in a bit. Apart from us, have you had other people come to you and really seek out that kind of positive role model, in the sense that, so from your perspective, you kind of didn't have that and you had to push yourself into where you are now, are you finding that you're having a lot of people approach you and asking you to help them dig themselves out of that dark place?
Yeah, I mean, I do get that quite a lot. A lot of people will come to me, and I think they've seen the journey that I've gone, especially over the last few years. I think I've come quite a long way, and I do see a lot of other clients or just friends, I guess, and people that I see. They're always like, they've mad respect for like what I've done, and I don't know. It's yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that I've picked this path. I'm very grateful. I'm now training, multiple times a week. I'm doing like multiple classes, so I'm like training like 13, 14 times a week, which is really bad, which I know you talk about rest days being super important, which they are. But yeah, I do get quite a few people kind of like wanting my help, and it's great. I've got a few clients as well who've really transformed themselves. It doesn't take too long. Like I know you see like, oh, it's going to take me 6 months to a year, but sometimes like get like small like little goals and work towards those, because you can actually see some quite great progress in short periods of time. You just have to like reshuffle your vision, I guess. Yeah,
you're 100% right. I just as you said, a lot of people kind of come up to, a lot of our clients as well. They come up to us and they say, "Oh, we've seen your progress. It's taken us X amount of years." But for a lot of people, I mean, we have one client, I won't name him, who's made phenomenal progress in 8 weeks.
It's great to see as well, isn't it? It's like that's the bit that's like why you do it.
Exactly, and you're completely spot on. It all just comes down to how bad you want it, how willing you are to be able to shuffle around your life to prioritize going to the gym and getting in shape. So
it's also like a gradual thing as well. Like I didn't just overnight just go, oh, I now train 40. It's literally one thing I kind of cut back. So I stopped drinking 3-4 years ago. So I drink once a year on my birthday at my house party. You're welcome to come along. But no, so I've cut back on that, and I'm making these small changes day by day. And now it's like every morning I get up, I've got 2 gym buddies who I always see in the morning, I'm always training with, and I don't even question it. I get up, I do it, and it seems natural, and it's just, one step at a time. And a lot of people, they try and jump too quickly. They're like, oh, I need to, and that isn't always the answer. You rebound most of the time. Not always, but you can rebound.
So I think like we're all in similar positions in the sense that we almost look back at our old selves like 2-3 years ago and we feel like that's just a completely different person.
100%.
And people probably look at us and say, oh, how are you guys so motivated to work out all the time? Like for you work out twice a day, and for you it's just, oh, it's simple, it's part of my DNA now. So I guess maybe some advice for our listeners, because everyone kind of has their own kind of attributing factor as to why they've become so successful. For you, what would you say? I mean, you mentioned you kind of take a bit of a step-by-step approach, but what would be the main factor for you that you would dedicate your kind of success to?
Oh God, that's a really that's a hard question. I'm gonna go. So probably not answering your question, but I'd probably say, and it's something you also brought up, is making yourself accountable. I think I've done that quite well. So I mean, I always talk. I'm always like, I'm gonna start a gym, which we'll come on to later. But I'm gonna start a gym. I'm telling everyone. Yeah. Now, if I don't start that gym, I'm a failure. Like, so it's making yourself accountable. Telling your friends, I'm gonna work out 5 times this week, and I'm gonna do it for the next 3 months. Then do it, and then they go, shit, you did do it, and then it's like so yeah, I think it's just accountability is like the main thing, and it's again being quite gradual about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that another hard thing with that is also finding the right friends that are going to hold you accountable to that, because sometimes it's all good saying, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, but if you're hanging around with people that are intrinsically lazy, they almost don't want you to succeed. So like they want you to fail. So then when you do fail and you don't achieve the thing you set out to achieve, deep down they're like, oh yeah, well, who cares anyway? So you want to be also like not only holding accountable to yourself, but finding other people that are going to also hold you accountable for stuff that you may not have even publicly said to them. And I think in our case that was 100% true. Like, I never even really kind of outspokenly said what my goals were to Isan. But then whenever we would train, like I would be held accountable for either not training or not doing X, Y, Z. So I think, that's why I think this friendship's so good.
It is good. I mean, another like a good thing to touch upon is when I stopped drinking, a lot of my friends didn't take that well, and I had to really just to be like, I'm not doing it, and I don't care. And the people would be like, come on, just have one drink, do that. And actually, when I was telling people I'm sober and I'm not drinking, it actually stopped people from like pestering me after a while. It took a bit of time and it took a bit of convincing, but then I realised who my real friends, well, not really my real friends, a lot of my friends who do drink, they were fine with it. They were like, yeah, I get you, bro. That's cool. I wish I could do the same. Like, I go clubbing. I still club once a week, which I go sober, completely sober, nothing, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing at all. And I can still do that. And it's, I know a lot of PTs are like, you know, you can still go out and drink, you can still have takeaways, you can still have a healthy lifestyle. And I'm kind of going against that. I'm saying actually you can make big sacrifices, but you can still have a good time. So I've taken out alcohol because I don't think that fits with my program and my style. It's not for everyone, but I can still go out and have a good time. I still socialise. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying. I'm going against the kind of the trend.
It's good because it's funny actually. You mentioned that. I did a story on Versus Gravity on Friday night. And I was talking to the viewers about, you know, how it's important to know your limits when it comes to whether you're going out to eat, whether you're going out to drink, whatever. I think the really important distinction, and you've made it, and we've actually said this before, I can't remember which episode it was, we're talking about balance and actually how if you really want to achieve greatness, which is what you're setting out to do, right? You know, if you want to be the kind of the mediocre gym goer, relatively fit, continues on with their social life, no problem, that's absolutely fine. Like Andy said, you know, it's not for everyone to be the kind of top of the top, but if you want to be top of the top, you've got to sacrifice. And so you've literally done that. You've taken balance and you said, you know what, actually balance isn't good for me. I need to be unbalanced. I need to be, you know, focused.
Yeah, so I've got a very addictive personality, and a lot of people do. So things like, another thing I cut out recently was gaming. I would literally game for like 2-3 hours a night, and like what I didn't realise was happening is I was doing it. It was great fun, socialising with my friends, having a great time. But doing that, I was losing out on important things like sleep, simple things like cooking. I wouldn't like do meal prep for the week, so I didn't realise this at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, I actually have so much more time with my life, and I had to be like, I'm cutting this completely out. And it's another thing, like, it's great if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine, but I realise that's not me, and it's just finding your journey, and it does take time to do that. Unfortunately, you got to go through some bad experiences, and you got to learn your lesson.
Yeah, but like when you said like that's not me, I think a lot of people, they think that will never be them, but we were those people 3-4 years ago. So it's important for the viewers listening that you can become that person. And it's like you were saying, it's absolutely fine with being kind of mediocre in quotes. I know that sounds quite negative to say, but what I would say is, why strive for mediocrity? Like, you've got one life, make the most of it, find the right friendship circle, like make your bloodline proud, like I like to say, which is probably extreme. But it's true. It's like, why strive for mediocrity? What's the point? There's no fun in that. You don't play a video game. I know Isan always uses this analogy. You don't play a video game with the main goal in mind of like, oh no, I only want to get to the mid-level and just be boring and just get it. Like, or just do the side quests. Like, you play the video game to be the best at it, so why not apply that to your life? And yeah, it's hard, but going back to the last episode, that's why it's fun.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, this is again just going back on what you've already said, but yeah, just definitely agree with the points made.
So okay, so that's you and how you started. What I want to also touch upon, and I think this will probably interest a lot of people, especially the people who follow you and the people who I'm sure they're going to follow you after this. I want to know what's actually on the horizon for Andy Parsons. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Andy Parsons Fitness and everything that's going on?
Sure. So Andy Parsons Fitness started in lockdown. It was basically after I did my exams for work, I decided that I wanted to push myself further, because I was like, I'm trying to like be a better person. So it was work for the first 3-4 years. I was like busting myself at weekends trying to be a teacher's pet, basically. But then once I'd done my exams, I was like, well, what do I do now? And that was when I was like, okay, PT exams, let's go. So I did that. Lockdown happened, very good timing. It meant that I could basically start online classes. And at that time, I mean, people were you had nothing to do, right? So people were, they were telling their friends. I was getting like 20, 30 people, which for me is a lot of people, especially like when I first started, coming along to these free classes. Everything was free. And yeah, I had like a little community, I guess, started to grow. And then gyms started to open, and I was like, oh, now it's going to get serious. I don't think I can keep. I did try and do the online classes, but people dropped off. People went to the gym. They weren't at home all the time. They got busy. So I then approached my gym, so Muscle Ball Gym. I'm sure a few people who will be members who are watching this. But yeah, so I started working there, and I did 3 classes a week. So I do various classes, so HIIT, like strength and conditioning, and like circuit-based classes. So I've been doing that for like, I think, 2 years now, 2 years.
Which one's your favourite?
I like the circuit because I don't do anything. Like, I'm one of those classic PTs. Like, I literally just go, I do the workout. I'm basically working out and like. He's
the type of PT, the ones you see in those boxing films, the old man in the tracksuit standing there and just yelling abuse at the person. That's Andy.
Literally, I'm learning how to whistle as well. I won't do it now, but yeah, learning how to whistle. So I'm just like burpees and like firing whistles at people. It's great fun. But yeah, no. So been doing that for 2 years. I started online coaching. This was quite recently, so probably like 6 to 8 months now. Yeah, had some really good clients. It's not too many because I've got my 9 to 5 job still. So I've had about 5 to 10 clients that I just kind of look after, and yeah, they're doing great. And it's I've started using an app as well, and I find that kept people accountable. Originally, I was doing it on like Excel spreadsheets, and it was
That's we've also done the same with our clients. It was moving away from I've actually had people message me on Versus Gravity and say, oh, how do you produce your client programs and whatever. I remember back in the day, I think it was literally, I say back in the day, it was last year, when it was, like you said, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, but all condensed into PDF. Yeah. And now it's all apps and
data, and people love to see it like that. They're like, a little thing comes up and says they got 5 personal bests that session. That gives them, it's like, shit, I did a good job. I beat my last, and it's making people accountable and motivating them.
Yeah, I would say, just touching upon that, what are some good apps or technology that people who are looking to get into training, or people who are already training but kind of want to take it to the next level, can use?
Yeah, so I guess on the workout front, I guess the Strong app is a great one. I think it's free for like a couple of workouts, and it's like 30 quid for the year. You can basically put in your workouts, program it all yourself. It has like exercises on there, and you can basically just track your progress, and it will say like what you did last time, and it have a few graphs and things. I guess like all the nutritional side, you've got MyFitnessPal, Lose It, and all those kind of things. Then the app that I use is called Trainerize. So that's basically one where the PT pays to have clients on there. So the PT is making the payment, and then I guess your clients will pay you separately. And then that's how it kind of works. But it's a really good app. It's very similar to the Strong app and the MyFitnessPal. It links everything together. It puts your sleep on there, puts your calories, like your macros. You can put like daily goals. All these apps are really tidy. These companies have really thought about what do people want, and it works really well.
Awesome, yeah. So yeah, what's the day in the life of Andy Parsons right now?
Oh, I haven't finished on my
Finish.
journey. And then I'll do the day in the life. I'll just quickly finish. So yeah, sorry, my journey. So yeah, doing these classes, and that's where I'm at now. I have a 9 to 5 job, which kind of a day in the life. 9 to 5 job, working out myself for my competition. Started doing my classes, but I'm looking to build my own gym. That's like my ultimate goal. I've had this for years. I've been telling you this.
We cannot just to give the viewers context, right? Sam and I are incredibly excited about this because I mean we'll get onto this later, but Andy's obviously got a very keen interest in calisthenics as well. So all of you guys who love calisthenics, wait until he opens up his gym.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to have the best indoor cali rig that's going. But yeah, and that's thanks to you guys that I got into calisthenics as well, which we'll touch upon. But yeah, so I want to start my own gym. The first one is hopefully going to be in London Bridge. We've put an offer in a place. So I'm going to keep it at that for now. I don't like to kind of get too excited. But hopefully the beginning of next year I'll have my own independent gym. And the goal is to kind of still do my 9 to 5. I have a few business partners, and we'll together, I guess, make it work. So they might do a bit more of the Monday to Friday work, but I'll be putting in the evenings, the mornings, and also the weekends. I don't care. I'll literally get rid of all my social plans for the next year. I don't care. I won't see you guys ever again. You'll only come to train with me.
That is a man who knows what he wants, guys. Take notes, genuinely. This is when we talk about, I know we're laughing about it, but genuinely, like when we talk about being unbalanced and how it can be a positive thing, that is what happens when you are truly dedicated to the process and to what you want. And like you said, you've got a goal in life. You've had it for several years, so you're willing to do whatever it takes, and that's so commendable. So
thank you. I told everyone. I told like my mum, my dad, my cats, everyone. Everyone knows. My friends. Everyone knows that I'm doing this gym, and it's not even a question. Like I'm doing it, and it's gonna get. We'll see how it goes, and I'll do everything in my power to make it a really successful gym. And just a bit of background about the gym as well. It's going to be. Imagine CrossFit, but not CrossFit. Like CrossFit, it's all like about community. Everyone loves each other. They get all sweaty and hug each other, all that kind of nonsense. But anyway, not hating CrossFit. If you like CrossFit, you like it. But I want that community to kind of stay in the gym. Like, you go to Pure Gym, you just walk in. You don't talk to anyone, headphones in. You have a terrible session. Weights are everywhere. It's a minefield. You just have a terrible time. And you pay a lot of money now. Pure Gym's getting expensive. They're creeping up. It used to be like 20 quid. It's now going up. So we're going for the affordable, so around the 50 to 60 mark as well. So similar to, just a bit higher than Pure Gym, I guess. But it's really going to be focused on community, and like you'll go in there, you'll be talking to people. There'll be socials, there'll be events, there'll be competitions, there'll be it's going to be a nicer place, and it will be neater as well. Which is like I just hate you just want to get some dumbbells and you just have to look like around the gym for like another dumbbell. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I think the fact that you want to make it so community driven is so important, because I think that's one of the hardest reasons for people to get going in their fitness journey is, one, so many people feel intimidated.
Yeah.
That was me pretty much. Like, I never gymmed at uni because I was probably too insecure about how skinny I was. And calisthenics, I mean, we've touched upon this before, but arguably the best thing about calisthenics is the community itself.
100%.
You get to learn from people that are better than you, and then you get to pass that knowledge down. So I think the fact that you're making it such a community-driven kind of aspect in your gym, it will do well. I think people, they're really thirsty for that these days.
100%. I mean, I talk to a lot of, so I try at the end of every month to kind of go for like a social after my classes, and I talk to them. I'm like, you know, how are you here, and like, what do you like about the classes? And a lot of them are saying they come to London and they don't have friends. Like, I was lucky, I had university friends, I had home friends, and we all kind of rushed to London. Like, so I was lucky, but other people, they don't. They come alone. They don't have friends. They don't like the people at work because maybe they work for a small department. And actually they need to find things to do, and like the gym was one of them, and the classes they liked because we all go in there, we have a laugh, we get fit for 45 minutes, or you know, get sweaty. Nice. And then we go for a drink afterwards, and that's really what I want to kind of keep going. And again, I know some people don't like being like, you know, they want to go to the gym, they want to do their own thing, and that's fine as well, but we want it to be like you do have the option and you can kind of like build a community.
Those things are popular. I mean, look, you said CrossFit, right? There's a reason why CrossFit is so popular. I think arguably it's probably the community aspect. Climbing centres. Yeah. I mean, you live right next to the Arch Bermondsey Climbing Centre, which I've been to quite a lot of times. And I know a lot of people actually get into climbing. They're new to London and they want to make some friends, and they go there. It's like, I could be in Russia and I know I can make friends because all I need to do is just go to Cali Park and get some Russians to shout, divide at me, and we won't be able to talk to each other, but we'll talk in the language of muscle-ups.
Yeah, downing vodka.
Yeah, there you go. So no, I think it's cool.
No. So that's kind of my journey. But yeah, I guess was it the day in the life, or was it
before you do that, just staying on the topic of training, I want to know. So, firstly, 2 questions. Number 1, how tall and heavy are you? And number 2, what drove such a titan of a man to want to do calisthenics?
Okay, so I'm 105 kg at the moment. So I kind of vary between 95. When I was at my most unhealthy, and this was probably like 3 years ago, I was like tracking everything. I was tracking like I was weighing lettuce before I ate it and stuff like that. I got super skinny. I wanted to be shredded. Did that. Never doing that again. I now just eat as I want. But then I've been up to 110. So in lockdown, I was like, I'm going to bulk and get absolutely huge, and I did. But I got huge in a lot of directions. But so yeah, 105 kg, and I'm 6'5". And yeah, calisthenics. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work. I've really got into it, I think, because of you guys, to be honest. We've gone to the park multiple times, and this was like years back.
So just a bit, sorry to interject, just a bit of context. I met Andy at a Travis Scott concert via another friend, and then since then we became friends. He was editing actually some early videos. Before Versus Gravity was even Versus Gravity, Andy was doing some edits, and that's when I think that's when you first kind of not found out, but perhaps learned more about calisthenics. 100%. And that was what, 2020?
Yeah, that was 2020. Yeah, or just before, maybe 2019 end of it. But yeah, editing those videos were great. I actually really enjoyed that process. But you got a way better editor, which is good for you because your content's way better now. But no, yeah, that was exactly it. Like, I saw what you were doing, and it's just really impressive. Like, things like handstands, to me, I still think are amazing. I know, but now I've kind of unlocked it. I'm like, actually, this is rubbish. Like, handstand, like anyone should be able to do a handstand.
But the fact that you can do a handstand at your height and weight is proof that anyone can do it. So I don't want to hear any excuses. If this guy can do a handstand, your nan can do a handstand. Anyone can do a handstand.
Well, this is the thing, actually. It's quite a funny story. So I think when I really got serious is when you guys entered the Body Strong competition, and then I was like, go on, I'll do it as well. So I entered Body Strong, which is, I don't think you've touched upon it, but it's a 1 rep max calisthenics competition. They're kind of going on over the next couple of months. It's a really well-run competition. And you kind of convinced me to do it. And I remember while we were like training for it, and I was moaning. I was like, oh, like, I just can't do this. I'm going to be shit. I'm going to lose, blah, blah, blah. And I remember this message. It's an essay. It's about 3 iPhone screens.
I sent, so there was one message, I think, that Andy sent me, and it was just like, it was so negative. He was being so negative about himself, and he wasn't backing himself. And me at this time, like Andy talked about his journey. I'd gone through my journey at least like 2 years before this, and I remember sending him this message. I was just like, dude, shut up, stop being a bitch. Like, come on, like literally, you can do this. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And I'll let you finish the story.
Yeah, I
'cause
mean,
it's
so I got this
unbelievable.
message, and at first I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, he's taking this a bit seriously. I think I was just like moaning, like, oh, I can't do this. I'm going to be rubbish. I'm going to lose. He sent this message, and I was like, at first I was like, oh, I'm a bit offended that you did that. But then actually, I realised that actually, yeah, he's right. He's completely right. My mindset is completely off. I just need to, like, okay, I didn't do the muscle up. I didn't do a strict form muscle up. What am I going to do about it? I'm just going to keep training. I'm going to keep going and stay motivated. It's actually now I gym with a friend, and he's also entering Body Strong as well. And he like has a bad session, and everyone has bad sessions, and it's okay to have bad sessions. It's just knowing how to deal with that. Is it you push on and try and do the most, or do you leave it and come back to it? It's like learning about that. And I now say to him, don't think about that. Just fucking do it. Just fucking get it done. And if it doesn't get done, it's all right. We'll get it done. We're gonna all be doing all of these. I want to be doing a front lever. This is the thing that I've been saying. The next thing I want to do is a front lever. I'm going to be 6'5". I'm going to be super heavy, and I'm going to be getting this front lever. And that's all I tell myself. And 8 months. I'll just give myself a deadline. And now I have to get it in 8 months.
Well, it's also because you've been through that process where you doubted yourself, and then you pushed through, and then you were able to achieve like your 200 kg score, and like you did well. You came second at Body Strong.
I came second out too.
Yeah, they didn't need to know that, mate. They didn't need to know that.
Edit that out.
You came out second, right? But like, so now you look at the front lever, and I'm sure maybe a year ago, if we asked you, "Oh, can you get the front lever?" you'd be like, "Hell no, there's no way I can do it." But now, because you've pushed through that, and I guess it's important to like for our viewers that you've gone through that process, because they probably look at us now and be like, oh, I bet they have good training sessions all the time. It's like, we still doubt ourselves, but because we now have more experiences where we didn't doubt ourselves and push through, that when I look back through my training journey, I'm like, oh, well, I've trusted the process so much that even this crazy goal like Maltese, right now, yeah, it feels impossible to get, but I trust the process, so I'm still going to push through it.
I think just, one thing on that as well, and Andy, I'm sure you can testify to this. I know you can testify to this, Sam. Calisthenics training for calisthenics is 99% bollocks. It sucks. At like 99% of your sessions, you don't make progress. You end up questioning yourself, doubting yourself, questioning the program, doing whatever. I'm sure, like you said, the muscle up. I remember at the time it was the muscle up. You didn't believe you could do the muscle up properly. Look at yourself now. Obviously, you can do it. Yeah. But yeah, that's just the reality. And to be honest, anyone who is doing calisthenics, we talked about this on episode 2. That's exactly why it's worth it. And I'm sure Andy's going to go on and tell you why it is worth it as well. So
yeah, I mean, being tall and heavier, it makes things a bit harder. But I try not to say that too much. But I remember when I first started, I was like, I'm never going to get this. I'm just too heavy. I'm too weak. And a good example was a post I did quite recently, the human flag, which my mate, who's actually I think going to come on or our mate, I should say, he's coming on the show in a couple of weeks. He can do it, and I've been seeing him do it for weeks. I was like, I'm going to give this a go, and I was doing the human flag, and I was trying to get up, and I couldn't even get to the top of the position to like even start lowering my legs down. Week after week, I tried, and I failed, and it was embarrassing. It was horrible. It was like I just can't do that. I'm too weak. It was at the end of my session as well, so I was tired, but I was just like, I'm going to keep doing this. Suddenly, like week 7, I give it a go. I get up, and I just literally just lower myself down really slowly, and it's just I got it. It was just like, it was the best feeling. And it was like, yeah, calisthenics, as you say, 99% of the time, it sucks, it's hard, it's painful, it's a good workout though. Like, it's good, you feel it. Like my lats as well, I come away from a session, my lats are just dying. I struggle to wipe my arse. Like, it's,
that's goals right there.
But yeah, no, it's just the reward at the end. And going back to the competition that you guys encouraged me to do, and I'm so grateful you did. It was a great day. I was worried about the muscle up. So it was, muscle up, you have to do 1 rep as heavy as possible, chin up, dip, and squats. So there's 4 exercises. The muscle up, I did a body weight, which I was really happy with.
We did our first muscle ups, like kind of officially almost at that competition, didn't we?
Literally, yeah.
We were like shitting ourselves beforehand, but
just
I think
you even went to get weight as well. Like 5, 10.
I think I did 5.
So that's like my goal this time because I'm entering in December. So like to try and get a weighted one. The chin up, I think I got like 60 kg, which I know I can beat now, like even just from my training like that. This was 8-9 months ago, and I'm now already like smashing that. Dips, I did quite disappointing. I think you had an injury as well. You mentioned it. I had a little bit of an injury, but I only got 60. That should really be up in the hundreds. And I've never done it. I've never had 100 between my legs and done a dip, but I know that I'm going to get it. Like that's what I'm telling myself. And then the last bit, so I had the guy that I was coming up against. He was a beast. He was 96 kg, so I was in the 94 plus. So I was like the heavyweight. And he was 96 and I was 103. and he was smaller than me, and that kind of helps with calisthenics typically, being smaller, like shorter limbs. And yeah, he did the squat, and he's so impressive. I was literally in awe the whole time. I was like, how am I coming up against this guy? He did the squat, and the only thing that I was like, I think he did 190. Yeah, he did 190, then he tried 200 and failed twice. I did like 165, 185, and it was the last lift of the event. Everyone was like there. It was I didn't really, at the time, I didn't really realise. I was just in my own world. I was like, I'm just going to fucking lift this. And my coach, George Armstrong, yeah, he's a great coach. Like, I love him. I messaged him. I was like, mate, I don't know what to do for my last lift. Do I just do a safe 190 or do I hit the 200? And he just sent me a voice note back, and he was like, mate, fucking send it. So I went up to I've got the voice note still to this day. I went up to the thing. I was like, I'm doing 200. It was the last lift. Everyone was watching. I went down. I struggled, and I just slowly got up. And yeah, it was just the best moment of my life. And then that was when I knew, like, this is what I want to do. I want to be into, like, I want to do calisthenics, and I want to keep competing. Because when I was competing, I was also hitting mad numbers. Like, I was improving so much. I think if you give yourself, you make yourself accountable. It's again making yourself accountable. We come back to this all the time. But yeah, I was like, I need to be good, otherwise on the day, or I need to train hard, otherwise on the day I'm going to do a bad job.
Yeah, I mean, that's 200 kg squat. It was just a privilege just to slap your back for that, mate. Genuinely, like when you came up and asked me, you said, mate, could you give me the back slap? I was like, of course I can. Of course I can. It was, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is it on your Instagram?
It's on, yeah, you can find it in my highlights, and I post it every other day.
Literally, go and watch, like that. For anyone who was at the competition, and for anyone who wasn't at the competition, go and watch it. Because to me, at least, that was the best moment of the competition. It probably was the best moment of like the 6 months prior to the competition as well. It was just, it was so sick.
I appreciate that.
So sick.
I think the funniest thing is we were all quite tired. We'd done the competition. We were kind of on our way back. We're eating. We're on the train, and I rewatched the video, and I paused it on. I'm coming up, and my face is. I just look fucking terrible. I'm like proper straining, like big shit vibes, and then there's this guy who looks a bit like Jesus in the background, like, wow, like, and it's the best screenshot. I think we were laughing for about 20 minutes, weren't we? Hysterically laughing.
We'll put the screenshot up on the podcast if you want us to. It was the best.
Oh, it was fantastic. But yeah, no, and then from there it was Coliseum. So, you know, I've done a few of those competitions, which you guys have done as well. Really great community, and that's the best thing about calisthenics. The community is great. You can go up to anyone. They're gonna help you, and I think you mentioned it, Sam, as well. If someone's doing a handstand in the gym and you see them like missing something, you just want to help them because you just know the pain. You know the pain that they're going through, and anything you can do to help. Yeah,
and you don't really get that in normal gym, I find.
No, I think you mentioned about Arnold as well. Like, I didn't realise. I haven't actually spoken to you since then, but like you said that it was like very toxic and people.
Somewhat, it's more of a competitive based, like. Inherently, bodybuilding is aesthetics based, so it's dirt, but it means you rely on the validation of other people. So I think it kind of makes you. I reckon most bodybuilders are less confident now than they were before they started training. It's like the bro science guy says: the biggest you ever were was the day you first started lifting, because you'll never be enough. Yeah. And that's why I actually think calisthenics actually builds true confidence, because you say you have to drop your ego. Because if you don't drop your ego, then you're going to ego lift, and it means that you'll end up getting injured. Yeah. Or you'll just end up plateau, and you'll be like, oh, I haven't got the front lever in a month when my mate learnt it in 2 weeks. What's the point? I'm going to give up. Yeah. When you drop your ego, you kind of get reduced to your kind of purest form. And then when you push past that, you come out a much better person and way more confident, I think.
Yeah, I just want to quickly touch on that, actually, because it's a really, really, really good point, and I think the viewers need to hear it. There's probably a lot of you guys out there who is plateauing with whatever skill, whatever exercise it is, be that the muscle up, front lever, back lever, handstand, push up, whatever it is, right? And it's a lesson that Sam and I have learned very recently, and I'm very, very happy he's touched upon it. Drop the ego. I know it's overstated so much. You probably hear it on YouTube all the time, but genuinely, you know, I was guilty of this. Sam, you've been guilty of it. It's it's very easy to be able to get consumed with something and think, right, okay, well, I'm ready to do something, when in actuality you might not be. And the best thing that you can do is work on something that you can do for multiple that you can repeat as well, right? So for us, it's working on, you know, if we're working on planche or front lever, it's working on a regression, not the full thing, and working in quality sets, quality reps, time and time again, because all of that volume adds up, and that's how you unlock the next stage, or the full front lever, the full planche, whatever it is. Probably something for you, Andy, as well, because you're learning your front lever now. you know, that's our word of advice for when it comes to those advanced elements. Work in capacity that where you have to push yourself, but in a capacity that you can actually do. Don't do something that you can't do because it's pointless.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, so I mean, nowadays, if you see us at the gym, like I think it was probably around 6 months ago that I really decided to just not care what people like thought of me at the gym. Yeah. So now, literally, I'll be doing kind of shoulder raises of like 4 kg. For me, the guy is actually confident is the guy who's literally there in front of the mirror using a weight that he can actually fully manage, not cheating the movement at all, can fully isolate it. Then the guy is just there trying to ego lift and show off in front of a girl. So it's like, first of all, no one actually cares when you're at the gym. No one's judging you. So like, please, like, honestly, ego lifting probably ruined what? A whole year worth of our training. I reckon if we started from scratch, and this isn't even just calisthenics related, this is to anyone who's doing any sort of thing. Doesn't even have to be gym to a certain extent, but yeah.
Weren't you lifting a girl the other day on your Instagram?
I was, yeah. That was probably a bit of ego lifting. That was, yeah. Yeah, I should have done a muscle up with her, but she's too heavy.
So, okay, cool. So we've talked quite a bit at length about calisthenics and, you know, how you got started. And we also talked about how, you know, the business and everything is going to take off, the gym. I want to come back to Sam's original question, which was a day in the life. What does a day in the life of the 6'5" animal Andy Parsons look like?
Oh God, it's not too interesting, I guess. But you know, always every day getting up 6:30 or 6:45 if I want a little lie-in. Hitting the gym. So I've got 2 gym buddies that so grateful for. I actually met them through my classes, and they kind of wanted to train with me. And it's not actually just me helping them; they help me. We kind of encourage each other. So yeah, I guess get up with them at 1 hour and a half of in the gym there. So it's quite a long session, but we kind of socialise as well. I guess after that, getting home, quick shower, straight to work because I've got a 9 to 5 job. So yeah, at work 9 till 5. But whenever I've got pockets of time, lunch times, I'll be kind of trying to sort out my business or whatever I'm trying to do, socialising, like messaging you guys. Then I guess at the end of the day, it's probably back to the gym unless I've got social plans. But it'll be either running a class, one of my classes, going out for dinner with friends. So another thing, I try and fit my friends into my schedule, which is very selfish. But like I try and get things that kind of fit along with my goals. So for example, a classic one is going to Nando's. Like I think that's great for I just love a Nando's, and it's good. Like it's just a standard meal, chicken, rice. And it's about trying to fit people into my schedule, and I will make the effort, like, and come out and see them. But it's really trying to fit people in around the gym, and it is a lot it's a lot going to the gym, the amount I do. But I guess it is my work as well. But yeah, and then I guess get home, make dinner, or if I haven't gone out for dinner.
What's your diet like?
Probably not great actually. I stopped counting. I have, it's quite bad actually. I have a flapjack and a protein bar a day. I have half a litre of yogurt, Greek yogurt a day. It's very standard. It's usually very, it's the same, but I like structure. For lunch, I'll be hitting probably like chicken and rice or some meal prep that I've made, like mince and gnocchi, something like that. I try and change it, like I just do a week's worth of food and then alternate each week. And then dinner, if I'm going out, Nando's or again chicken and rice. It's just a typical like bad example. But sorry.
Have you seen? If you guys have been into the gym or training or whatever for 10 years, about 10 years, then you would have definitely seen the video. Chicken and rice. Fish and a rice cake. And tomorrow I'll have fish and a rice cake and 2 fishes and a rice cake.
That's pretty much me. But no, I mean, I try and vary, and like I eat out, pizza. I'll eat anything I want, and that's kind of a part of. Again, I was in an unhealthy relationship with food, and I was counting everything and taking everything. Like it had to be in a deficit. If I didn't go in a deficit, I'd go on the treadmill for half an hour and do a jog. And now I'm very much. I try not to think about that. And I'm at a place now where, because I'm gymming so much, I can eat a lot. I know. I've put on my story a few times. I will have 2 meal deals for lunch, which is, if I'm like being lazy, I'll grab 2 meal deals. I think Sam for lunch.
It was insane.
What was it, like 2 chicken triples? That's
then
the best,
2 protein drinks and 2 protein bars.
Yeah, but what I've now done is, then I was eating it all in one sitting. I now kind of split it out into multiple sittings, because what I do is I just smash it down, and then like I'm hungry like a couple of hours later, so I now try and split it out. But it's still not the best.
I mean, you are way bigger than us, so like.
Yeah, but again, it's better to have a healthy balance, like fruit and veg. I try and get some in, but I don't get 5 a day. I'm not perfect, and that's the thing is like I can always be better. I can always do more, and I will gradually get to that.
I think it's important what you're saying there. It's like you're doing your best, and you're not doing everything perfectly. Because I know a lot of people suffer from paralysis by analysis. I'm definitely one of those people. I'm a lot better now, but I often would never try new things because I wanted everything to be done perfectly. Yeah. So say maybe 2-3 years ago, if you said, "Oh, you're about to embark on a fitness journey," I'd be like, "Oh, well, I need to get everything has to be right." And if one thing's not right, oh well, there's no point doing it. Yeah. And the fact is that even on your worst day, if you're still trying your best, you can still get insane results. I mean,
100%. I mean, another thing as well is it's the cost. I'm very stingy. Like, I'll literally.
That's an actuary for you there.
Yeah.
Risk management.
Yeah, like I don't know why. I just don't like spending money on food. Like even if it's the healthiest food, I don't want to spend 10 quid or 20 quid on it. Like it's something that I've just my mum taught me how to kind of look after money. And I could afford it if I wanted to, but I just try not to, or I prefer not to. I guess I'd rather spend my money on a gym, which is my preference. But I guess it's again, as you say, trying new things step by step. Adding things slowly to your diet. Like I used to have porridge for a long period of time just because it was cheap and pretty good for you, and I put a scoop of protein powder in there. Job done. Overnight oats kind of thing. Yeah.
How much protein do you think you get per day? Everything. There's a food shortage, and it's because of this man. double meal deals.
No, I reckon I'm hitting 250. I'd say a day, 250 quite easily. But that's just because I just smash out like a protein bar if I'm like a little bit peckish. Protein shakes. Get 2 with the meal deals. I'm just hitting high protein, but the calories wise, I'm probably on like 4,000 a day, probably 4,500 sometimes. It depends on a big session as well. Like so I haven't really touched upon my training program, but I'm training 6 days a week for Body Strong. I'm doing 3 classes, which is a lot of cardio, and then I'll do other sessions around that as well. I am I try and do 10k steps a day. So all of these things in combination, and I'm quite a bit tall and heavy. That means I can eat a bit more.
Do you have any like rest and recovery protocols that you try to implement?
I like to think that I'm quite smart with how I train. So like I make sure I give each part of my body time to rest. I know I'm not the best. I know I really should do what you guys do and literally have a whole day. Like my thing that I do is sometimes I'll take Thursday evening off and Friday morning I'll run a class. So that's a whole day. That's my rest day. It's rest 24 hours. It's not. So I train Thursday and Friday, but I've had that day off.
So I mean that's a really interesting topic that you brought up, and actually, what I think you'll be happy to find is if you're coming, and I want to talk about this perhaps on a different podcast and maybe even a different video, is switching your brain from a working out mindset to a training mindset. So if you look like a professional footballer, right, those guys train every day and then play 90 minutes on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever their match is, and they have to be match fit throughout the whole week. They're training for several hours a day, right? And they have to do the resistance training and all the recovery. So actually what you've just said there is really important because as you become more experienced, the amount of capacity that your muscles have to recover, to train, and rinse and repeat actually improves, right? So you 2 years ago would not have been able to be able to do what you're doing now. No. But you can do it now because your body's so well adapted. So actually, when you say, I need to have a full day off. I mean, all the guys who love science out here could probably sit here and argue about having a full day off. But to be honest, if it's working for you and all of the right markers are showing healthy, positive signs, I don't see where the problem is.
Yeah, it's a hard one because like I know deep down know I should be taking rest days, and I know people will probably be like, oh, why doesn't he just do it then? But again,
it's the love of the game.
It works for me. Again, some sessions I will just take super light. I'll do the same workout as I would typically do. I just drop the weight. As I say, lifting virtually nothing, 4 kgs. I'm moving. I'm doing something, and it doesn't always have to be like 110%. It's just go on the treadmill for half an hour. That counts as a workout. That's just walk, incline walk. But
yeah. I forgot what I was going to say quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you just said there as well about 110% is, again, such a good point, right? Because for a lot of people, they think that 110% looks pushing yourself until your lungs give out in each session. So again, coming back to the training versus working out, if you're someone like Andy who's training for competition, who runs classes, and wants to keep yourself in general shape and achieve the best that you think you can, being able to switch it up in terms of intensity is really important. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but perhaps the really advanced calisthenics athletes understand this quite well. Being able to cycle between light and heavy sessions is actually very, very good, because like you said, you're still training the movement, right? And there is a neurological learning curve that you need to go on, as well as that kind of neuromuscular learning curve, right? So you're trying to improve the thickness of those muscle fibers by breaking them down, training, hypertrophy, right? Yeah. But at the same time, you're trying to improve the motor neuron recruitment of those muscles, i.e. you're trying to recruit more muscle fibers doing that exercise. So that might even look like something, for example, like throwing a tennis ball, right? The more you throw a tennis ball, the better you'll get at it, the better you'll aim, right? So that is that CNS kind of neurological learning curve that I'm talking about. So when you're training lighter and you're cycling with heavy sessions, actually that works very well. Because if you're doing a movement like the muscle up, for example, right? Let's take one day you do your weighted muscle ups, training for body strong, and then the day after you're thinking, right, okay, I should probably take it a little bit easier. Let me work with a band. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Because you're doubling down. You're getting more practice, right? And effectively, if you continue along that journey without getting injured, big caveat, don't get injured while you're doing that, then you will make phenomenal progress.
100%. Right? And, like to train something like a muscle up or the front lever, you don't have to actually do those exercises. You can use bands or, like my favourite one for the front lever, I'll literally just get a cable on the cable machine. I'll put quite a heavy weight on, pull it down to the bottom and do like a negative cable pull down or like straight arm pull down. So, I still want to improve my front lever, but I will do do a different exercise, a gym exercise, and try and improve my front lever on my off days, or even just go and do some handstands for, I could do handstands for 30 minutes. It's a good session. Doesn't really, it's not too much really on your shoulders, is it? It's it's not too bad, is it? It's not super strenuous. I'm not doing handstand push-ups or anything, which is a lot harder on the shoulders.
But then you'd get to a point where handstand push-ups aren't as strenuous, so then you would be able to incorporate them. And the kind of like, basically what you're saying is that exercise in and of itself, even if you're not doing any skill-based kind of moves like calisthenics, it's still a skill. So your body learns how to kind of become more skillful with like how to activate the relevant muscles. And that kind of goes back to, you need to understand to read your own body, but that will take you time. Like nowadays, that maybe you're kind of pushing it right to the limit. Like, maybe you might be wanting an extra few rest days, but like it's working for you. Whereas maybe 1 or 2 years ago, you'd have no clue because you don't understand how your body responds to specific training sessions.
It's very hard to know though, because probably if I took rest days, I'd be even stronger than I am now, and I'd be in better shape than I am now. And it's one of those things I think you just have to try different methods. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I do force myself and take holidays are a great one. If I ever go on holiday, I say to myself I'm in the gym 4 times on holiday, and I never do, and I actually come back stronger. And it's about getting the balance. But again, I'm a special case because my job is in the gym, and my social life is in the gym. Like sometimes I go in the gym and I'm chatting for 50 minutes, and then I do 10 minutes and then I leave. Like as in, because I'm just I'm chatting to people, and that's my social life. But sorry, going back to the point. I guess just find what works for you. I think that's the best thing. Is some people can do 14 sessions or 7 sessions a week. That doesn't mean it's the right method. It's just what they're used to and what they want to do. And I would never go up to someone and be like, "Oh my God, you only do 2 sessions a week, or you do 15 sessions a week." It's down to them. Mm-hmm. You could say, "Oh, be careful of injury," whatever, or 2's not enough. You might need to go a little bit more. But I would never ever That's another thing as well. Like, you can help people, but don't shame people. That's the thing. I think you got to be very careful with stuff like that.
You've also got to stick to something for long enough to actually kind of get the data whether it's working or not. So I think we 100% did this. We watched probably every single muscle up or handstand tutorial that exists on the face of this planet. So we would watch one video that would have this one bit of golden knowledge. We would apply that. We wouldn't see any results for 2 weeks and be like, "Oh, well, it clearly doesn't work." So then we'd watch a new video. So actually, if you just stick to, even if you've got 2 different videos, right? One video has the better advice, and one video has maybe 50% of the good advice. You're better off following the bad advice in quotes for 1 or 2 months, bear in mind, like, it's not going to give you an injury, it's just maybe not as an efficient exercise to do, than to just alternate between the two. So to learn how your body responds to stuff, just pick any program, maybe at the start, and just stick to it for a month, 2 months. You will see results. And even if you don't necessarily see results, at least you'll you'll learn something about how your body responds to different stimulus.
100%, yeah. And I guess as well, you guys do it very well, but you know, sometimes there is a lot of information on the internet, and you know, you need to find people who do know what they're doing. And like, you know, some people might say, oh, buying a program off Versus Gravity or myself is a lot of money, but you know, we've done this, and you know, we've tested it on people. So it's actually quite useful to go to people, pay a little bit of money, and you're getting the knowledge that's all kind of in one place. And also, I guess, you know, it's keeping you accountable. Again, it's another thing we keep going back to. It keeps you accountable.
Well, it's also, if you're like 99% of other people and you have a 9 to 5 job, it's like you don't have the time to test out all these different training methods.
Exactly.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm Joe Schmo. I want to get a nice body for the summer. I want to know how to get the best aesthetic possible, and maybe learn a handstand so I can take some cool Tinder profile pictures. Spend some money, find out some tailored coaching. You will save 10 times more time. I guarantee you will achieve results way faster than you ever would have. And
it's also like, yeah, again, it's just paying for the account. Like, some people need to put their money in their pockets just to get them going. And I think with a lot of coaches, if you find a good coach, they don't want you forever. They want you for 2-3 months. They want to get you on your way. They're just here to help. And that's the kind of coach you want, one that you can learn off them and then just go off, and that's it, and that's you done. That's
literally like that exact line is something that we say to our students, which is, if you're still with us after that longer time, right? We've not done our job. Our job is to teach you, not to instruct you. And there's a very subtle difference between the two. If you're instructing someone, at least how I like to think of it, if you're instructing someone, you're basically telling them what to do in that given moment, but you're not actually giving them the knowledge to then do something else later on or apply the knowledge you have. If you're teaching someone, just like in school, your maths teacher taught you how to do quadratics, right? But then it was up to you to be able to then use that knowledge and apply it in the exam, and because the exam questions will always be different. So, and I want to touch upon the whole money situation, right? Because that's a really, really good point. And I think people are becoming more aware of it nowadays, which is, don't be hesitant to spend money on your health and your body. I personally never understood it myself, why certain people would be happy to spend on things that would be detrimental to their body. But then when it came to actually fixing problems, it was always like, oh, hold on a minute, not sure about spending money on that. Honestly, take it from me, right? If you're willing to spend money on education, then think of your personal training or whatever it is you're coaching as education, because that's what it is. You are learning how to utilize your body and how to optimize your body so that you can have a long life and you can have the strength, the aesthetics, and the lot. So yeah, I think that's really important.
And it's also time is money, right? So like we paid our kind of dividends in time spent watching all these videos, wasting. I honestly think, I know I said it before, but I think we wasted a whole year's worth of our training by just not following, not having the right guidance, not having any mentors. So whilst we technically didn't spend any money, we paid with our time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that goes along the same line, and like the skills you learn. I think we can all talk about this because we didn't really exercise when we were younger. I mean, I know you guys did some sports, but yeah, I mean, it's 100% worth it. The skills you learn and what you learn about yourself applies to every single other aspect of your life. Like we've all got good jobs. I know me and you still work a 9 to 5. Like we're doing very well in our normal career, relationships with people. It's such a massive carryover. And if you don't really have that mentor, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, sorry. Just you saying that has brought me to something else. I actually think that what I've done in the gym and the training that I've done, and getting to the size I am, because I think when I do, I think you mentioned this in your first podcast. When I do walk in, some people are like, "Shit, Jesus, like, look at you. What did your mum feed you?" But like,
Erling Haaland.
No, but like people at work also do respect that. Like literally, I'll be sitting down at my desk and someone will come over to me and just be like, "Oh, what are you doing in the gym?" Like, and they're interested as well, and that's actually helped my career. Which it sounds a bit weird, but it does kind of help other parts of. And sorry, just another thing is like talking about coaching. I have a coach as well. You guys, I don't know if you actually have coaches, but I pay someone who's really good. I mentioned me and George. to train me. And like, a lot of people come up to me like, oh, you're a PT, why don't you just do your own? But I'm paying for someone he literally is watching me. He's an outside source. He's looking at what I'm doing. I could probably train myself, but I know for a fact he is going to give me the results because one, I'm accountable, which I keep talking about. Like if he writes, like today I did a 155 kg squat for 8. I didn't think that was possible. If I wouldn't have done that, programmed that for myself. He put that on there. It was on the spreadsheet. I was like, I'm doing it, and then I did it. So he's making me accountable. He's watching from outside's perspective. So he's looking at things. He's listening to what I'm saying and like what is working well, and he's adapting to that. And yeah, it's actually worth like every penny. I mean, he's really quite cheap, to be fair, as well. But yeah, he's absolutely the best thing I've spent my money on. And it's about investing. Saves me time. I don't have to worry about my own workout. Yeah.
I mean, like all the knowledge is out there, but the key is knowing how to apply that knowledge, and that's something that only kind of bespoke people that have kind of lived that life can share their experiences and can kind of walk your hand through that whole journey.
He's actually a strongman as well. So he's teaching calisthenics. He's teaching me how to do the muscle up as a strongman, and I guess strongmen are very good at pushing to the very extreme 1 rep maxes. Like I probably wouldn't ask him to help me. Sorry, George. Wouldn't ask him to help me with the Coliseum competition, which is about reps and like just. I think I could do that myself, or ask you guys. He's very good at like pushing your body to the extreme, building and cycling up to like on the day. Like I remember before that squat, I think at the 200 I think my best ever was 180. And we didn't even, the whole program, I think the most he got me to do was 175 for like 2-3 reps. I had no idea what my 1 rep max was, but he knew the I think we started at like 100 the first week, and I was like, why are we doing this? And I was building that strength, and he knew exactly what he was doing. And it's crazy to think a strongman is helping, but it's all transferable. I'm sure we could help him, with like things like pull-ups and things that he probably would be less good at. So it's about going to different. It's not all just. You don't have to go to calisthenics people, or you can. It's probably a good option, but you can go to strongmen. You can go to other people. It's all transferable. Or a gymnast. Yeah. A gymnast would probably help you with your calisthenics.
Yeah, I mean. Sorry. Yeah, we talked about this before on one of the episodes, how when a calisthenics person walks into a gym, and we have an ego, right? We like to be able to think that we're stronger than everyone in the gym, bar what people are doing for legs. But then when a gymnast walks in to a calisthenics park, Cali guys stand no chance, absolutely no chance. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's been really insightful. I'm trying to think of other things to ask Andy. I think
conscious of time, maybe.
Yeah.
Closing remarks.
Well, yeah, we'll leave that up to you, Andy.
Stuff as well.
Oh, what could I plug? I guess my page. I guess Andy Parsons Fitness. Come check me out.
Is that the T-shirt you're wearing?
That is the T-shirt, the logo there. Yeah, I don't know how long this will go on for. I think when I start my gym, I might start to transition away from AP Fitness. I can't really give much details about the gym yet, but I think I guess as soon as that's up, get as many people down as possible. Really excited. I'm hoping to be hosting like calisthenics competitions, all kinds of things there.
Are you going to be at the next Coliseum?
I am at the next Coliseum. I'm very excited. Hopefully going to compete for that. I'm not sure. I typically, again, I go for the amateur and the bottom because that's where I still view myself in the calisthenics on my journey. So it's now whether I'm hitting the intermediate and pushing myself up. I think you guys are entering advanced, I think, or trying to.
Hopefully, yeah. And
then, my big competition coming up, Body Strong, is just a great competition. Do get down to that. If you're interested in calisthenics as well, it's great just to come and watch this competition because, you just get mad inspired. There's so many people. And that day, I think I've got 10 people. I followed them. And now I just watch them every day. And it's just that inspiration. I think you mentioned, when you're in between sets at the gym, find someone who's inspirational, and they will. And I often do that. I'll literally be in the middle of sets, either put your phone away and concentrate, or actually find something that motivates you. Is it music? Is it someone that you met, or you guys, or whatever?
Just videos. It can be anything. Yeah,
anything, or you have a collection of videos. Just put that on, get in the zone, smash your workout. After that hour, you're going to feel fantastic for the rest of the day.
Do you have any advice for other tall giants like yourselves?
Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. We're going to take over the world soon. So I think just keep going. And it is demoralising, and you can just keep going. I'm too tall. I'm not strong enough. I wasn't born for this. But Mate, there's people who are born, you know, they're born with a lot less, and they achieve greatness, and you know, it's putting yourself into putting it into perspective.
But we've seen videos of a guy that's like 2 meters, I'm not like 6'7", like considerably taller than you, I think. Full planche, full front lever. So
Yeah.
if that guy can do it, anyone can do it.
I saw like a 150 kg guy doing muscle ups for fun with weight on. Like, so like you can do it. You just need to put. I mean, he was definitely on something. But you know, anyone can do anything. There's no excuse. Just get on with it. And you know, when you do get it, it's yeah, you level up. You level up, and it's great. You don't look back.
That's what I like about you, is that you do the thing that you're not supposed to do, in the sense that you do not choose the path of least resistance, which is why you enjoy it so much more. At your height, I mean, we've even said it. I mean, like 2-3 years ago, we're like, oh, I'm too tall for front lever. Most calisthenics guys are quite short. Enter this guy right here.
I can't do any of that yet, but I'm so excited for the day I can. Yeah, you know, I will get that. But yeah, it's like there's a few guys. Ed on that grind. I know you're very close with him. Like mad inspiration. Ian is a classic. I think everyone knows Ian. I met him once, and I was literally just staring at him for the whole session. Like that's all. He's a nuts guy. Yeah. You know? It's those people that I know they started young. I didn't. So what? Just get on with it. I've just got to fucking go. And now is the time. I've got to go. And if you know, I could go now, or I could go in 3 months' time. But I could also go in 6 months' time. Like just do it now. Just change your life.
Stop coming up with excuses. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's probably my closing remarks.
Love it.
Shout out to the Versus Gravity boys. Thank you so much. Like I know you
pleasure.
guys. I'm gonna suck you off a little bit here, but you guys are going places, and I'm coming with you.
Nice. Metaphorically speaking, right? What do you mean? So
this is gonna get deleted, right?
No, he's 100% right, guys. Make sure that you keep an eye out. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming your way from both Andy Parsons and Versus Gravity as well.
I'll be living with this guy, so yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of the two of us taking some sick content together.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. This is actually the thing. It's like it's going to be so great living with you, because I think we're all going to be a lot closer after living together, and it's like every day I know you're just what's next, how can you improve yourself, and I'm really excited to have that. It's just positive energy, and that's what I need. And I was negative that one time. You told me to shut up. Yeah, and
it's okay, man. I'm always here. I'm sure all of our clients know that as well. But yeah, no, we'll, you know, like you said, this is a journey, and we're always on that upwards trajectory together, and that's the main thing. Like we're all wanting to level up, and that's all it's about, really. Yeah. So yeah, no, cool. With that, I think we're going to wrap up. So once again, thank you, Andy, for turning up today. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've learned heaps about you, about how to train, how to train as a big guy. And yeah, you know, guys, just watch out for more. This man's going to be doing a lot of big things in the scene, not just in calisthenics, but also into other areas as well. And make sure you look out for any collabs between Versus Gravity and Andy Parsons.
Socials as well, we'll put them down.
And yes, we will leave his socials down in the description here, so you can go and follow him. Make sure you do, otherwise you're going to be missing out on so many good little bits of information, progress updates, the whole lot.
And
so
updates on the gym as well, which will be the next thing for me. I think is sorry, just going back. I did used to do a lot of like helping, you know, day to day, you know, little tips and advice. But now it's very much doing this gym. So yeah.
There you go, guys. That's what to look out for. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll catch you on the next one, Gravity Gang. Take care. Keep smashing your goals.